On credit cards and finance charges. So far, the only thing that we've done is gone over some definitions. So we have a lot of definitions here, and you can slow that down. You can keep scanning it. You can go to the completed notes. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to learn how to calculate a finance charge, which is the interest that you're going to pay. Morgan has a credit card with an APR of 21.9%. Important to know. How many dollars would she pay as a finance charge for just 1 month? So everything on a credit card is typically in terms of 1 month. On an $1,100 charge, express your answer to the nearest cent. So the finance charge with the, pardon me, I'm going to abbreviate as FC, says that you take the balance, which is $1,100, times your monthly rate. So it's your APR. I'm going to move it 2 spaces to the left, so that's 0.219 as a decimal. And you have to divide that by 12. So APR is annual. You have to divide it by 12. So you're just going to simply multiply those 2 numbers, and you're going to turn it into a decimal. So I have 20.075. Money is implied to be rounded to 2 decimal places. The 5 rounds that up to an 8. So the finance charge is $20.08. So if Morgan doesn't pay off her credit card that month, she's going to pay a little over $20 in a finance charge. And you guys try Peter. I'm going to hit pause and show you the answer. And so on that one, we took the balance times 0.2 divided by 12. We rounded it to 2 decimal places. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to look at a credit card statement. This one you just pretty much have to go find the info. So I'm going to hit the pause button, and you can check the notes for this one. All right, so we just finished the credit card statement, and now we're going to calculate some numbers. So these are credit card tables. There is an $8,200 carryover balance. Carryover balance is a phrase that is used in the lesson to indicate that the person did not pay off their account in full. So they have $8,200 left on their account. That is why here in month 1, where it says the carryover balance, so that's why the $8,200 shows up there. They have a credit card with an APR of 13.99%. So you need to know that whatever I tell you the APR is, that is going to be used in the finance charge column. So I have 13.99% APR, which is, I kind of put at the header above finance charge, so that's the number I'm going to use there. They have a minimum payment of 6% of the new balance. So here in minimum payment, I'm going to use 6%. And I'm definitely going to turn that into a decimal. I'm going to use that decimal amount. All right. Assume only the minimum payment is made, and we are also going to assume no additional payments, and I think maybe I meant no additional purchases, I think is perhaps what I meant. All right, so to calculate the finance charge, so I did it for you here in the first one. So you take the carryover balance times your APR as a decimal divided by 12. And so they had finance charges of $95.60. They didn't have any new purchases, And so when you're finding the ending balance, which is also the same balance, or the new balance rather, what you do is you're going to take your carryover balance, so COB stands for carryover balance, plus your finance charge, plus your new purchases. So we're going to take that cell, plus that cell, plus that cell, equals that number right there. So that's what I was showing here. I added 8,200 plus 9,560 plus 0. So they have an ending balance of $8,295.60. So the minimum payment is calculated on the ending balance or the new balance. So very specifically, I put the new balance there. So we're taking the prior column times your minimum payment, which is 6%. So I multiplied 8295.60 times 0.06, and they have a minimum payment due of $497.74. This is why you have to be super careful with credit cards. I mean, you have to know that when you go spend money, you have to know that in your budget, you just added a $500 payment to your bills for the month by having that much money on your credit card. To calculate the next month's carryover balance, it says that you take the new balance minus the minimum payment. So I took this $8295.60 minus the $497, so I have a carryover balance of $7797.86. All right, so we're going to start calculating the finance charge ourselves. It says take the balance $7797.86 times your APR divided by 12 times 0.1399 divided by 12. When you multiply those numbers, you're always going to round to 2 decimal places because we're always talking about money here. You should have got $90.91. Yes? No? Maybe? Okay. We have no new purchases. So now we're calculating the ending balance. So up here it gives you a hint. It tells take your carryover balance, $7797.86, plus your finance charge of $90.91. You don't have any new purchases. So when you add those two numbers together, I get 7888.77. That's my ending balance. To calculate my minimum payment due, this is the number that I use. Your new balance, 7888.77 times 0.06. You should have gotten $473.77. So what is my carryover balance for the following month? So you take your ending balance, the 7888.77 minus 473.33. Oh, I was doing so good, almost had it all on screen. There we go. And I got 7415.44. So that is the amount that goes to the start of the next row. 7415.44. I'm going to hit the pause button. Everybody's going to try this one more time, and I'm going to come back and show you the key. All right, so I thought that I would put the rest of it on the video before I move on. So If you pause the screen, you could certainly look and see how I came up with each of my final answers. So to find the finance charge, you take the carryover balance times your rate divided by 12. I didn't have any purchases in this scenario, so the ending balance was the carryover balance plus my finance charge. Your minimum payment is calculated on this number right here. So I'm taking my new balance times 0.06, and that's where I got 450.11 in this one. The carryover balance is the ending balance minus your minimum payment equals your next month's balance. I'm going to hit pause and see what's next. All right, I'm going to get you started on the next one. So on the next scenario, we have a credit card with a zero balance on it. We plan to put $175 on the account every single month to pay for my cable and internet. I'm only going to pay the minimum payment until I get my summer job. So in the new purchases column, you could go through and add $175 in each of those slots, because that's your plan. So on the first month, you don't have a finance charge because you don't have an ending, you don't have a balance here. I put $175 on it, so my ending balance is your carryover balance plus your finance charge plus your new purchases, so that's why that number is also just $175. I'm going to make a minimum payment, which is 4.5% of my balance. So I'm going to keep multiplying this column by 0.045. So I have 175 times 0.045. 75. And I'm going to hit the pause button because I haven't done this problem yet. Alright, so when I take 175 times 0.045, your minimum payment due is only $7.88. My carryover balance says that it is your new balance, which is 175 right here, minus your minimum payment of $7.88, means that I have a carryover balance of $167.12. So for month 2 rather, you're starting off with a balance of $167.12. Let's see, my APR is 18.99%, so I'm using 0.1899. So I take 167.12 times 0.1899 divided by 12. 167.12 times 0.1899 divided by 12. Did you get 237 or 264? Anyone? 264? Okay. I don't know why I had the wrong answer on my other notes. 264. Alright, so when I find my ending balance, it says take your carryover balance, so I'm taking 167.12 plus your finance charge of 264 plus my new purchases of 175. 167.12 plus 2.64 plus 175. I'm at 344.76. So then when I calculate my minimum payment, I'm taking this prior balance of 344.76 times 0.045. I get 1551. And then I'm going to subtract that and check the notes for the rest of them. Have a good one.